Hello, and welcome back to the Latura Post podcast. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's 2026. I don't know how that happened. It went by so fast. Today, we're going to jump into the topic of beauty because it's an integral part of what we are doing. But before we jump into that, if you are just kind of checking in with us, getting to know us, there is a lot of information out there already. You can check our Instagram, you can check our website, you can go back and listen to episodes 1 and 2 of this podcast. Yeah, or you can order our paper. That is the best way to get to know what we're doing. You can go back and order. The earliest one you can order is November's if you do want to go back, or you can just order the next one and you'll still get a really good idea of
We
what we're doing.
actually had some September papers pop up this week that I put up for sale on the website. So if you want to see our original issue, that is up.
Which would be very fun. It's so sweet looking back at it because it's very different.
We've definitely progressed for sure. It has
Hmm.
I'll call them sweet quirks.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, I mean the content is so good. So good. I love Renee's article is like one of my favorites. And that
Yeah.
paper, yeah, we've just obviously learned a lot as we've gone.
Yep. And at the top of every paper, you'll see May Beauty Arise. This was something that Christine came up with and kind of our driving mission behind what we're doing. So talk about that a little bit and maybe where that came from.
Yeah, as we were, you know, in the brainstorming portion of the Latura post, trying to come up with what we wanted it to be, our goals with it, just the mission and the heart behind it. I went through a number of different mission statements, phrases in my head. And the main thing that prompted it was actually shout out to the gal who did our branding, Becca Bryce with Sojourn and Soul. She's an angel. Her work is phenomenal. She works with woman-led businesses, just stunning work. So if you're in need of a whole branding suite, go check her out. But so we did our branding with her in the summer. And part of her process is she has this whole questionnaire that you fill out with all sorts of questions. I think it took me probably a solid hour to fill out. It was so well thought through. I mean, she has a really good thing going. And the depths of the questions she asked really, really got my wheels turning. And I do give that the credit for feeling so established in our mission and goal in starting. I think, yeah, she was a huge part of that. So one of her questions was, yeah, just like, what's your catchphrase, I guess? And yeah, I threw around a couple different ones. And I think I had actually even originally given her a different one. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, that's just not quite right. And I don't, from somewhere in my brains, the May Beauty Arise came, and I was like, oh, that's it. That feels like a call to arms, essentially, like, hey, let's all buckle up and join together in this mission. And it just feels, I mean, beauty naturally invokes just this feeling. I think I don't even have to explain it. Everyone probably knows. You go and look at a beautiful sunrise or the mountains or just anything, and that feeling arises. And I think that's where it came out of. It's like, let's take that feeling that arises when you put your eyes on something beautiful, and let's then take it beyond that moment. Like, let's do something with it.
Yeah, kind of that idea of like beauty perpetuates beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And we want it to keep going and rolling. And so everything that goes into the paper is really the thought behind it is, can beauty arise from this? Can
Mm-hmm.
it, poke and prod someone to make something beautiful, slow down, yeah, focus on beauty.
Yeah. And
Because,
that's the beautiful thing about beauty, is that it's such a layered thing, and that it's not just a I mean, it could be someone, multiple people come and read the same thing, and some people go, I need to change something about my life, or I need to get rid of something in my life, or I need to simply go and sit outside and watch the sunrise, or I need to go have a conversation with an old friend. Like the the options are endless. Like the applications are endless when different people come to something beautiful. And yeah, again, that's just what's so beautiful about beauty.
Yep. And why is it important? Why is beauty itself an important thing?
Yeah, I this is I mean a real I mean this episode is just going to be one of the largest glimpses behind what personally drives me, and was what how I chose to set up the foundations of what the Latura Post is and what is driving me to make my decisions. And I think for me personally, what beauty means is that our God who created the universe is beauty. That's the essence of him. And so the earth is just a imprint of his handiwork and his beauty. And so to me, anything that exudes that is just a reflection of him. And so for me to bring forth beauty in a collected manner, whether it's just a photograph or an article or a poem or whatnot, to me, it's ultimately pointing back to the author of beauty. And it doesn't have to be explicit about God, but in my opinion, that's what it will always point back to. And so, yeah, where do I want to go with this?
I think a lot of what you're saying is there's something about beauty that kind of makes you think, what's beyond it? Who's orchestrating it?
Yeah.
Who's creating this? Who laid the founding
Yeah.
blocks?
Yeah. You said
And
that much more eloquently than I did.
no, it's okay. That's why there's two of us. It's
Yeah.
it's helpful to have to go off each other. That's why we're not doing the podcast, just one of us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it definitely it draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
And
And makes you ask the why. And
yeah,
I think that is what the point is of the post. If you've read it, you probably have seen like direct Christian themes. Sometimes it is more explicit, but that is not necessarily my goal with the paper. For it to be explicitly that, I want it to always point to truth and goodness to the best of our ability. And that is what I think ultimately will provoke people to ask, like, why do these deep feelings keep arising within me? And what do I do with that? And I don't know. That's and that's why I don't like market our paper as this is a faith-based paper. Like I don't market it as that for a reason because I think it's applicable to anybody. I think absolutely anybody could pick up the paper and pull something from it, whatever stage of life they're in, whatever their belief system is. And if it does plant seeds for somebody to think about, oh, where is this beauty coming from? Then great. But that's nothing I can control. And I don't want it to be like a theology paper.
yeah,
I think there's like people who do that and do that really well, but that was not the goal for this paper.
yeah. And if the end thing for you as a reader is just sitting in beauty or making something beautiful, I think that is enough. Like
Yeah, our goal
it's
is accomplished.
yep, because beauty is truly an experience. And like you said, we didn't want it to be so much education because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you know too much, it like takes the beauty of just simply experiencing
Mm-hmm.
something and it kind of minimizes it because you know, like, oh, well, this works because of that, or X leads to Y. Like, if you know those things, and I'm not saying knowledge is bad because I love learning, but sometimes it does take away from like just simply being like, oh, that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's,
exactly what we talked about last episode, the whole sense of wonder.
mhm,
And I think wonder and beauty go hand in hand. I think beauty, probably one of the first things it invokes is wonder. It
mhm.
makes you go, how can this be? And if we are constantly filling ourselves with information, we are closing the door to the possibility of wonder. And I mean, how often do we go out and look at the stars and go, I want to know which planet that is? And next thing you know, we have our phone pulled out and we're looking for information. We're looking for facts. And yeah, what if we just step back and again, just live in the wonder and truly just soak ourselves in the beauty of it and that be enough.
It's like being a kid again. Like having a sense of playfulness, I think, is integral to beauty. Like
Mm,
you don't create if you're super technical or it has to be perfect. Like playfulness is what we love about children. And I think what we love about good art is that it puts a spin on something or it's just playful. Like I don't
mm.
know how else to describe it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's those things that just put a little grin on your face and
Hmm.
you're like, I don't know quite why I'm grinning. It just feels like I need to grin. I think that's kind of what that is. And now having kids myself, it's been so fun to watch how they view the world and how they tell me about it. Especially now, my oldest, he's almost 5, and my next, he's 3. They're two boys, and watching them, they're starting to get a point in their play where it's getting very, very creative. Their creativity doors are wide open, and the things that they come up with are hysterical. They are so much fun, and they do just bring this enchanted view to the world. And when I take the time to really put myself in their shoes and look at things how they are, it's really fun.
Hmm. Yeah, I have nieces and I was laying with one of them outside at night watching the stars this summer and she came up with this whole story about like people riding the stars and whatever. It was so cute and I'm like, that's beautiful because you pulled that out of your brain. Like you had nowhere else to
Mhm.
pull that from. It was so cute. Anyway, we both grew up in the Midwest,
Mhm.
small town Midwest,
Yeah.
and I think we both experienced a very utilitarian mindset. Like things have to be useful. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter if they're pretty, they just gotta work.
That's very true.
And so then when we started talking, that was just something we talked about a lot. Like, why is it, why should we care about if it looks pretty as well? And I want to touch on that because I think you and I both believe that everything should be pretty, down to
Mhm.
like the scissors we use, the Kleenex box. Like there's something about beauty that should touch everything, in my
Mm.
opinion. Um, so yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I I have definitely always leaned that everything I do needs to be beautiful. I mean, I'm sure there's sometimes I've done it in a very inconvenient way, but my feedback is regularly like, just tone it down. It's not a big deal. Let it go. And while, like, I mean, you don't want to become over the top and anal about it, but like going into my home with how much intention I've put into it, it's like a breath of fresh air. And we regularly have that feedback when we have people come over. It does have an effect. It is not
Mm-hmm.
nothing. If
Mm-hmm.
you walk into a building, let's say a factory that's been made for only utilitarian purposes, it feels cold. So I just fight against that at every turn and try to go on the other end. I'm like, I'm going to make it beautiful. And I want, yeah, like you said, my scissors. I want to go cut open a package with a smile on my face.
Yeah. Yes. And I think I don't have my own children yet, but I love children. I just love kids, right? Like I have nieces and nephews, big family. And like the impact that beauty has on the younger mind, I think can be quantified. I'm of the belief that we should try to
Mhm.
study that because we send our children off to these schools. They're just brick buildings, kind of ugly, kind of, bright fluorescent lights. I mean, there are studies actually done on lighting and how it
Mhm.
affects
Yeah.
children in the schoolroom. And it's like, what if we just had big windows that let in natural light?
Hmm.
Big window. It's easy, it's simple, but it lets in that beautiful light. Maybe you have, I mean, I'm in a small town, and so you'd see like pretty fields and whatnot out the windows. And I do think it has an impact on how we learn and how we shape
Absolutely.
young minds. And so it really, to me, is so important. I don't think there's any way around that. And like you said, like I just want to do things with a smile on my face. I don't want to go grab my ugly kitchen scissors to open a package that my dog has chewed the handle of. Like that's ugly. And it kind of grinds my gears every time I look at them. So I should just replace them with
Yeah.
something pretty.
Yeah. And I think part of what's taken away that, I mean, when you look back at homes from the 1700s, 1800s, like way back, I mean, that was much more the standard of what you saw. Most things were beautiful and intricate, even just when you look at just like the bones of a house itself. It's not just trim, it's like engraven patterns within your trim. It's just going above and beyond. And I think that's like largely what came in with like the wars in the 1900s was we have to simplify, we have to do bare bones out of necessity, but we're not in that anymore necessarily. And we just stuck with it because it was cost effective. But it's like, what if instead of buying lots and lots of things, we buy a couple things and we make those things really nice?
Hmm.
That's something that me and my husband have adopted just in how we go about buying things. When we had babies, we were like, I don't want a baby registry with 100 things on it. I don't think I need that much. I think my baby registry was like quite literally three things. Each of those things were a couple $100s, but that was it.
Hmm.
And I use those things through three kids and I still have them. So
Yep.
it's it's all just a mindset and a what's my end goal with making this purchase? Am I making it just out of need or am I looking at the need and beyond?
And I think you touched on cost, but I think a lot of people merge cost and value. But I think we have to unmerge those things. Like cost and value are two completely different things.
Mm,
And I think beauty inherently is going to add value. And so it might cost more, something beautiful, but the value that it brings to my life is inherently greater. Like they're just two different things. And
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I think intentionality is so intertwined with the concept of beauty. And that's what you see in our newspaper is yes, these things are beautiful. Some of them very simply beautiful. Like if you saw it standing on its own, that's not necessarily where your mind would go, like a recipe or something. But seeing it all intertwined, having the intentionality of how do these different things puzzle together? Can we bring a full picture of beauty by bringing in lots of things? I think that, yeah, I mean, that's just what brings depth is the layering of beauty.
Harmony, the harmony of how it all goes together. Like
Yeah.
that, I feel like harmony and symmetry are two of beauty's greatest attributes.
Mm,
Because it, to me, beauty is an objective thing. Like, I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, yada, yada, yada. That's all very new relative to time.
yeah.
Like, those are new concepts, new ways of looking at art. Because really, good art should be
You shouldn't have to think about it.
No, it's a reflection of what's real. Like a really, really good reflection or um mimesis is the word that comes to my mind. It mimics what's real.
Mhm.
And that what's real has a lot of symmetry, a lot of order, a lot of harmony. And so when we see those things, there is an objective thing that makes us go like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to look at that.
Yeah.
Um, and so with the paper, when we bring in all these things, and you mentioned recipes, even a recipe in itself has to have harmony. No
Mm.
one wants to eat something that is just meat. I mean, I don't anyway. I want it to have like a layered flavor and different components. I want it to have not just protein, I want it to have other things with it. And so
Yeah.
a recipe in itself is a harmony in a
Mm.
way. And like part of our beliefs, I'm going to speak for you too, because I know this to be true,
Yeah.
but like we really want to use ingredients that are natural and whole, because that's also part of the harmony. Like they have to
Mhm.
be whole ingredients because those in of themselves are beautiful. They came from the earth. They're
Yeah.
yeah. And so
And I think that's one thing that you and I have really brought into both of our lives is just this concept that when God created the world, he said it was good. He provided us with our needs. He cared for humanity and he provided for us. So why do we think we can't find what we need within nature?
mhm.
And you look at the age we're in where people are largely living off of man-made products, foods, whether it's made
Yep.
completely man-made or whether it's just been highly processed. And it's like, why do we doubt so much that we can't go find what we need in nature? And as you and I have both experienced, as we've moved towards filling our homes largely with whether it's natural fibers or just whole foods, it's not overcomplicated. It's actually simpler once you get past the information overload of it, because with that world tends to come an information overload and you're like, it doesn't have to be that. You don't have to have someone tell you how to live a holistic life. I
Hmm.
think if you really just quiet down the noise, I think it's actually common sense. And I think you can actually figure it out without listening to 20 people and then getting overwhelmed and getting fearful. I think it can actually be so, so, so simple. And
Yeah.
as you do it, now when I go like sleep in a bed that doesn't have natural fibers, I notice I don't sleep as well. And
I
that's
sweat.
not so I right. And that's not in a way again to be fearful. That's just in a like, oh, this is interesting. I've made changes in my life and now I'm noticing a difference.
Yep.
Or we've made choices in how we personally light our home. Shout out to the Healthy Home who we interviewed in our December issue talking about lighting and circadian rhythm. And now when I go out of that environment, I notice a difference. I can feel it in my nervous system. And that's just awareness. That's not fearfulness.
Hmm.
And I am totally willing to go in an environment that has big overhead fluorescent lights. I'm not going to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will just go, oh, I really like how I've set up my home.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to harmony. Like it works because it's a harmony within your body that you can actually feel. And that's
Mm,
a beautiful thing. And
yeah.
like, so it is simple. Like, but it requires you to like tune into yourself, which is hard.
Yeah.
And I
It
think that's where a
takes,
lot of resistance comes from.
right. It takes a lot of work, especially just based on how you grew up with things. Like if you grew up in a highly processed life world, very utilitarian, it's going to be a lot harder to break that mindset and think a little
Mhm.
differently. And it won't feel like common sense. But I just, I don't know. I just like look at the state of the health world and just people's views on it. And you have the people, you just have so many different, you see so many different ways that people are going about it, and there's a lot of fear. And I think that's not issue with the concepts themselves. I think it's an issue with how you're going, what's your mindset going into it? Like, what are your goals with it? If your goals are to pursue perfect health and no illness and no whatever, you're going to run into issues.
Hmm.
We're going to come up against things in the world that cause us harm and sickness, no matter what you do. And the goal is not to live a perfectly healthy life. The goal is to live, how to say it, just with beauty. I mean, it's beauty. It all comes
Yeah.
back down to beauty.
Hmm.
And when you feel better, your mood's better, you treat your family better, it just like snowballs. And so it's like, what kind of decisions can we make within our lives to not necessarily like, oh, let's do these things so that I never have illness and I never have sin and I never have these things. It's like, that's to me what the goal is like, let's do this to help me. This is an aid. This is a making conscious decisions to to make good healthy decisions as easy as possible. Does that track?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you summed it up with it all comes back to beauty. And that's the goal. Like, even if you're sick, even if something bad happens, even if the worst happens, like there's beauty to be found and to be
Mhm.
had and to be experienced. And that I think is more,
Yeah.
that's my goal. Like, no matter what, because the bad times are going to come, they have come in my life. But
Hmm.
what has stayed true is that I can find pockets of beauty that can ground me,
Yep.
guide me, keep me sane,
Yeah.
frankly.
I mean, it, those things are truly what will lead you out of the bad things. Like, I mean, to get more personal, this summer, my daughter got very, very, very sick. Frankly, almost died. We were in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. And then we had months of like trying to help her get back to her normal self. And I mean, in the moment, you're just trying to get through, trying to get through. And it's now looking back at it, it's like, wow, that was horrible, awful. But I actually don't look back on my past year. Yes, I look back at it and go, that was a really hard year. Don't want to do that again. But I also look back at it and go, there were some amazing, amazing things that happened this year. And when I focus on what good came out of like her being hospitalized, some really good things came about that would not have happened if she hadn't been. And that's not to say I'm glad she got hospitalized. No.
Yeah.
No, no, no. But it's when you choose to say, okay, there are good things that came out of this. There are beautiful things. And I can't go back and undo that she was hospitalized. So there's no use in me sitting and dwelling on the negative. Let me look at the positive that came out of it and let me live in thankfulness for those things. And I think
Hmm.
that's just right there an example of when you turn your eyes to beauty and you live in the wonder and the thankfulness that come with it, it can give you sanity after a year of trial or whether, yeah, everyone has their hard things. And so I
Hmm.
just think that there can be so much benefit to just simply fixing your eyes upon beauty, and it will guide you out of the depths of despair.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what to follow that up with.
Yeah, sorry. I definitely got more personal than I was expecting to,
No,
but I just
that's okay.
especially closing out the year because as we're recording this, it is January 1st.
Hmm.
I mean, 2025 was a gnarly year for my family. There
Hmm.
was a lot of not good.
Yeah.
But there were also, I mean, like the Post was born and this like community of women, which I love dearly. There's just so much to be thankful for. So I think I am just in a more reflective mood today and just trying to not be like, oh, thank goodness 2025 is done, but rather be like, I'm thankful for what did happen.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. My dad always tells me, like, don't wish time away.
Mm.
And I think even in the bad, yeah, you can't wish it away. And so you have to just really find ways to bear it. And I
Mhm.
think beauty does help shoulder those burdens, whatever they may be. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I total side note, but I watched the original Beauty and the Beast the other day.
Oh.
I made Nick watch it with me too, and he loved it. It is such a good movie. Like the original princess movies, which are not even original to Disney. They're really like just fairy tales over time that have Disney took and, whatever.
Yep.
Um, they have such good stories though. Like
Yeah.
she found the beauty in the beast. I'm just
You're like, oh.
going over the movie. Gaston is obviously the guy that everyone wants. He's beautiful, he's handsome, and she can see through that. Belle can see through it. And she's like, no, you're ugly on the inside. And so she's like, no. But then falls in love with the beast because she can see that he had this transformation. He is good on the inside, even though the outside is like, ooh,
Mhm.
not beautiful. I just love that story because, like, you are attracted to goodness and beauty, even like if the outside thing doesn't present that way, because that does happen.
Mhm.
You're attracted to someone who smiles at you. You're attracted to someone, and I'm using attracted as like their energy, like you want to be with them, you want to be
Mhm.
near them. You don't want to be by someone who always is complaining or like very negative.
Mhm.
Uh, Anyway, little Disney
Yeah.
movie.
And going
So,
back to your comment earlier about beauty being objective, I was thinking about that and how, in relation to what you were just saying, is I agree that I think beauty is more objective than we give it credit for. Also to say that when you put intention into how you're viewing an object, a person, anything, there is beauty to be found. And I think that especially when it comes to people, to individuals, maybe you have someone in your life who has gone down a track of living a very negative life, who has a hard time having a positive outlook. Maybe they're a more difficult person to be around. I think when you take the effort to say, I see I see the beauty within you. I see which of your qualities are your strong suits, and I am going to focus on that beauty within you and encourage you to draw that out more. And I just beauty again, it all always comes back around to beauty. I think when you're focusing on that, that's what has life-changing, world-changing effect, is just pointing people back to it and saying, if you just focus on this, your life can be changed. Like, you can focus on those qualities within yourself, and your life will how people perceive you, how you perceive yourself, how you interact with the world will drastically change.
hmm yeah. And that's the power of it. That's the power of what we're doing. That's the power. I mean, we've seen that. We've had people mention like it just really made them think. And it's not anything that any particular person has done. It's like giving you kind of the power to think about it is a beautiful thing. And Joe from the Light Phone actually mentioned that he's had people tell him, hey, you changed my life. And he's like, no, you changed your life. We just gave you a tool.
Yeah.
And I think the paper is similar. Like it's just a tool. It's
Yeah.
something to read and think about, but a huge part of what we want to do is like you have the power to be different, to make
Yeah.
something different, to
It's
reach
a
beyond
it's a
yourself
very,
and
very conscious choice.
hmm
And I mean, that's part of what we're doing, is in a world that's gone very utilitarian, we're bringing back the things that do reflect beauty. So, yes, our paper is indirectly reflecting beauty. And well, it's directly reflecting beauty, but maybe it's indirectly affecting you. And so you making conscious choices, yeah, we're not going to take credit for that. Like, that's you.
Mhm.
Someone could go read the paper and get absolutely nothing out of it, put it away, never think about it again. That was a conscious choice to not let beauty affect them. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think too, we should touch on like the people that we maybe interview or highlight in our paper are doing things that kind of go above and beyond what
Mm,
would be necessary. The Healthy Home Shop making a light bulb, they could have just made a light bulb. We all know what a light bulb is, we all know it works. They went above and beyond to create something that carries within it beauty. It's the necessary frequencies for us, the blocking the EMFs. Like he went above and beyond to create something beautiful because he believes that it should extend to our lighting. And that is what we really want to highlight too within our pages of like, there are people who do go above and beyond
mhm.
mere utilization. They
Yeah.
want to bring beauty to the world, and we appreciate that. And we want to highlight that and focus on that.
Yeah, because those individuals and companies who are doing that in the world of social media, that doesn't really, that gets pushed under the rug. People do not realize the extent of what these individuals are going to to bring these products. It's just like, oh, here's just a red light bulb, move on. And that's the whole swipe, swipe, swipe mindset. I look at it, I move on, the consumerism. And
Mhm.
when you take the time to slow down and realize that the products you're seeing, specifically when it comes to small businesses, that there's a person behind it or a team, multiple people, like real people who had a reason for starting it. They didn't just start it for the heck of it. There was a reason and there was a purpose. And when you take the time to view these products as a byproduct of a human being, there's just, you just respect it a lot more and you become so much more willing to pay them what they're worth, not constantly asking for discounts. You're like, oh, they're charging this, that's what I should pay them. They're charging that for a reason. And all that to say, that is why we are choosing to move towards featuring brands on a larger scale. Is there aren't a ton of opportunities to like really dive deep with a brand as to like, why are you doing this? And we
Mhm.
really hope our pages can be that, so that maybe you as the reader can feel a little bit more connected to these brands that you'll potentially make a purchase from.
Yeah.
And we'll dive all into this deeper in another podcast this month. We're going to really
Yep.
get into brands, advertising, stuff like that. But that is just
Yep.
kind of, yeah, just a little glimpse as to why we're even doing that.
Mhm. Yep. Because people are awesome and create cool things. So just to kind of to wrap up, heading towards that way anyway, what are some things lately that maybe you have found very beautiful or things that you've been looking for? I don't know. Beautiful things in your life lately.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I do think it is much more easy to find beauty in simple things when you don't have a screen right there,
Mhm.
which is one reason I'm super, super thrilled to not. I deleted Instagram last night. Woo!
Same.
Yeah, our team, if you didn't catch it in the last episode, is logging off of socials for the month of January. And I'm just excited to be a little more clear-headed, enjoy those like little beauties that just like quickly pass by. Um, and man, what was your original question?
What have you found beautiful lately?
There we go. It's like, where do I go with this now? Um, yeah, my children. It's just that what we were saying earlier, just that playfulness, the innocence, the just pure wonder they have learning about the world. It's just so special. And there's so many days where I go, I did not give that as much credit as I should have, or did not just enjoy it as much as I should have. And yeah, I mean, I've just really, really been thankful for our home lately. We live in the middle of the woods, and that's just wonderful. It's beautiful, and I can sit on my porch and it just be peaceful. Don't see a single car. Listen
Mm-hmm.
to the birds. Um, and that has just been like a very grounding beauty to me lately. Just that, I mean, we've lived in town. Like I grew up not in town. I grew up on a farm, no neighbors in sight. Um, and then since moving out in high school, I've just lived in town. And so now being back at a place where I live outside of town, it's just like, oh, this feels
Mm-hmm.
so good. So been
Yeah.
very thankful for that lately.
Yeah. I have been thinking a lot about beauty just in like my little everyday things that I love. And um I knit, and so finding wool is so fun. And a lot of people order online because once you kind of get into knitting and like the community, I'm pretty new to this, but right off the bat, I found that people are like serious about their wool. And so, yeah. But when you order online, like you obviously don't know what you're gonna get in the mail. And luckily, there's a shop in the town over where the gal only buys non-superwash wool. So it's like
Oh,
really, really nice
good
quality wool.
find.
Yes, so I've already been there like 3 or 4 times in the past month. And I first day I went, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can like get in here very much, mainly because I don't like the big city. And then I was like, hey, I'm here again. Hey, hey, hey. Um, it's just so good, like going around and feeling all the different wools, and like she knows so much, and she's always telling me like, oh, this came from that or this came from that. And I find a lot of beauty in someone loving what they do and like
Mm.
having all that information and being very passionate about it. Um, it's not, I don't think when you get into like specialty things, um, you don't know if people are going to care about it. And so you don't know if there's like a money possibility there. And so to me, like finding a store like that, I love it because I'm like, this lady is just passionate about it. Like I'm usually the only customer in there when I go. And so like I just love that. She could not have done that, just a store of high quality wool, but she did. And so I find a lot of beauty in that.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to go and buy different
Yeah.
things.
And it's fun when you find those people, like those companies that you just, businesses that you love,
Hmm.
them, making intention to not be consumerist about it, but like you keep coming back. You
Yeah.
become, it's like a tried and true thing in your life.
Yeah.
I just think there's so much fun.
Yep. Yeah. Another thing that I don't know if there's any other sport lovers out there. I find that beauty and sports don't often mix, but the thing I love about sports is that it is beautiful to me. I just watched the college volleyball national championship a couple week ago. I don't know. Time is weird at this time of year. But like a good game of volleyball is so beautiful to me, especially at like the highest level.
So graceful.
So graceful. And like everything they do is so practiced, so fundamental, so honed in. Like I love it. I think it's beautiful. So those are my couple things.
That's good. I like it. It's so fun to
So,
hear what other people are pulling at different times in their life.
hmm.
So fun.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, drop in the comments what
yes.
you find beautiful as of late. We want to hear.
Yeah. I don't think we got any questions
I
last,
don't think we
but
did.
it's been up for a literal day, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Leave us your questions.
yeah. Drop us questions, drop us comments, nice comments.
Be nice to us.
We're just two girls that really, really, really feel like it's part of our duty on this earth to like
Make a newspaper.
and and make things beautiful, no matter what
There
it
we go.
is. So
Yeah. I
we're
think
just girls. Be nice to us. You don't have, you could cut that.
so good. Yes, we really hope this podcast I mean, the whole reason we started this podcast was just as a way to put some of these thoughts into longer form because everything we just said, there's no way we could put that on Instagram. Like, how would we even do that? Three
Or in the
people would
paper.
like it in the
Yeah.
paper. Yeah.
We wouldn't put this in the paper because that's not what the paper's for.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think a lot of people have just seemed so drawn to what we're doing, which has been frankly overwhelming. I'm like, wow, this many people.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is just where we were like, okay, let's Bailey and I regularly have multi-hour conversations.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. And so we're like, let's just record one.
Hmm.
And then hopefully it can feel like you're just sitting down for a chat with two girls.
Yep. Yep.
Your
And
gal pals.
yep. And these are things that we talk about because we do want our ideas behind the paper to be fleshed out so that even if we don't state them directly, hopefully people can feel that and that we have put a lot of thought into really everything that we do
Yeah, the
here.
amount of
So
hours of conversation and brainstorming we have done is insurmountable. I don't
yeah,
even think we could count it.
I don't think we could. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like think people, which again, we're going to do another episode this month, peek behind the curtain, talking about processes. But the other thing I don't think people realize is we probably collectively spend a couple hundred hours on each issue.
Hmm.
It
It's a
is
lot of
it's not a little hobby.
mm-mm. And yeah, it's a lot of people coming together to
Yeah,
get one issue out.
there is no way on earth, no way on earth this paper would be near what it is without the amount of people we have. Even just in the past week or two, we've had a couple individuals come on in some smaller roles, and I'm stoked. Like,
Hmm.
we are gonna have like another, I just pop in all these announcements. We're gonna have a comic strip.
Hmm. We've wanted this since the beginning.
She reached out to us, and her and her husband, before reaching out, had like spent time to come up with a world and sent some example strips over. And within 30 seconds, I was sold.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They're so cute.
So
And
good.
so it's just been so cool to see, yeah, how the individuals just keep coming in with what we need. And we keep saying, oh, I think we're like at our max. And then
And then someone's like, "Hey, I'm really good at this." And we're like, "Yeah, you're really
you
good at
actually
that."
are. And we want to, yeah, give a place for that. So,
Yeah.
um, like Bailey said, at some point we'll probably have 100% team because we don't know how to say no.
Yeah. And we don't want to say no
No, we
because
don't.
people are so vastly different at so many different things and so good at some, yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
And again, why I think the paper is beautiful is not even the content itself, but it's the
Mhm.
culmination of it, it's the layers of it. And that cannot be with only one or two or even three individuals. That
Mhm.
takes a host of different perspectives and skills. And it's just, I love our team so much.
Mhm.
It's been such a gift. I could have,
Yep.
when we came up with this concept, I could have never guessed that this is where it would be.
Yeah.
And now I can't imagine it being any other way.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%.
So just thankful.
So, just to wrap things up, this is our first episode of 2026. For the month of January, we're going to release one every week. Find it here. We will not be on social media. So please, please, please subscribe to this so that it does show up for you. And like it, put a comment. We would just really appreciate that. And this has
Yeah.
just been super fun. So if you like it, that would mean the world to us. So then going forward, if you want to contact us, you can email Christine@latura.com. You can find us on our website at www.latura.com. You can drop us a comment here. You can send in to our PO box. We'll put the address in the comments. Lots of ways to connect. We'd love to connect. Um, but yeah, we will see you next time, and thanks for listening.